Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is November 9th, 23. We finally did it. We lost our marbles, and we bought an abandoned cabin out in the middle of nowhere. Well, sort of. We bought 5.4 acres of property out in a rural area just about 10 miles outside of the town of Chehalis, Washington. And there's an old homestead on it that's seen better days, and we kind of surmised that there was people squatting in it at some point. And we've got a lot of work to do, so let's get to work. I got here, and it's very muddy. It's been really wet lately. I've been having a heck of a time trying to find some place to park the trailer, especially that's kind of out of the mud. There's a little driveway over there that I was going to try to park it in, but I actually had to cut a couple trees down so that I could try to swing around it. Finally! So Monique, like a normal person would do on a Wednesday, had to work today, but she managed to get tomorrow and Friday off. And so she's coming out tonight with the cat. And as much as I tease her about her directions when she's helping me back in, it helps a hell of a lot having another person to be able to watch all your corners, because holy cow, especially when you got trees and branches and things everywhere. I really wanted to get the cell booster antenna mounted right up there in the peak of the house on a J mount that's going to stick out and then up, and then we got to face it that direction towards the cell towers so that we can actually get cell service out here. But my ladder is not tall enough, so I'm going to try to get to that stovepipe. Maybe I can get that patch up there, and it'd be really cool, I think, if I could get some things done out here before Monique gets here, just so it looks like I actually did something. Okay, so they did put some mastic over that, but they really should have used what's called a boot. This kind of BS right here, it's not going to fly. It's clearly leaking, and a lot of water has been getting inside of the cabin, and I need to pull that out and then try to patch that up. Maybe I won't do this tonight. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow when I can hopefully do the antenna as well. So what I am going to do is something that I know I can do easily and quickly, and that is I want to try to put an outlet outside right here. So not only can I run, at least for now, a long extension cord over to the trailer, but we can also have an outlet out here to plug stuff into. I also want to put a switch on the wall somewhere right there, and then another outlet up high there so I can put those really cool like party lights around under the patio up here, because I think that'd be really cool, and I think Monique would really like that. One of the most satisfying parts about all this is demolition work. It's easy, it's fun, you wreck the crap out of things, and you can get a lot accomplished in a little amount of time. So I need to rip this crappy sink out of here, need to rip that piece of wall open, probably this piece as well, get this junk out of here, and relocate some of the wiring, try to get an outdoor outlet in, and do my thing. Well, that was easy. That's another story. Oh yeah, that came right off. Oh, that wasn't even mounted on there. This is a full-on cast iron sink, though. It's heavy as hell, and I was not expecting that. This is old school. We don't want it, but maybe somebody else does. So I got some of the wall covering ripped off, and I've exposed the electrical. Is this GFCI right here, which is already there. Those are actually about 20 bucks a pop. I think I'm going to cut it in over there facing outward. Well, so I've been at it for a few hours now, and I got a few things done. I got an external outlet put in. I still need to put the rainproof cover on it, and a switch, and another outlet up there that I need to cover. But this switch controls these porch lights, and I also got, it's probably a little too washed out, but this vintage porch light mounted as well. I got a few things done. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself, and Monique should be here in just under an hour, I think.
Alright, so this is the loft upstairs. No handrail, so you get down several feet. I've already done some cleanup in this room. Heater took down the wall, redid some of the electrical, and we go into what will be the kitchen and the bathroom. So they already had some little bath stuff here, but plumbed it not to code. We don't have running water down here yet. We've got a well. This side's gonna be the kitchen side. This is an add-on we're gonna tear down and make into a back porch so we can look out at the back, which is nice and woodsy, but for now we're gonna use it for storage. Now I'm trying to clean all the cobwebs out of the rafters and the walls and the floors. All right, so this is the first full day here at the cabin. We spent half that day monkeying around with the damn cell booster, but we spent the second half of the day and we've completely stripped out I guess we would call it the living side of the cabin. And the loft area, obviously, which will be the sleeping area, is all stripped out as well. And I've got that big hole patched in the ceiling, and so far it looks like it's holding, and there's no more water coming in there. We tore out this wall here, which was where the makeshift metal flashing was used as a heat shield for the wood stove that's no longer here. So with all that said, I think we're gonna go and have dinner and kind of chillax the rest of the night. What do you think? Yeah, wine time.
So one of the benefits, if you will, of this property is it already had a well installed, which is nice because obviously you can have water. So today we need to get in there and clean out all of the nasty insulation and all the gunk out of there, and hopefully be able to put a tarp over the roof to keep it from getting any worse until spring/summer comes around and we can repair the roof. Watch your head. So this is our well system. I got it decently cleaned out now and checked in the tank for floaties. Fortunately, there's none. And we have what's called a low flow well, which means it only produces about half a gallon a minute, which is pretty low. Your typical household faucet's about 2 gallons a minute. So to get around that, we have this large 1,000 gallon storage tank, which the pump will pump water from the well into the holding tank, and then the holding tank will go into the water pressurization tank, so we have pressurized water coming out of that bib there. And then down at the cabin too. The plumbing system in the cabin is all kinds of jacked up and is not usable as is, so That's going to be a complete redo. Neither of us lived on a property that uses a well system before, and even though I have almost 2 decades in construction and electrical and all that crap, never really worked on one. I have a hunch within a year or two we're gonna know everything there is to know about a damn well. So
filling up the water jugs.
Well, it is about 8 o'clock, November 10th. It's the second full day here at the cabin. We got a fair amount of work done today. We got the pump house cleaned out and the roof cleared off. We got the rest of the insulation stripped out of the cabin. We found a mouse nest with 4 or 5 mice in it that we cleared out, so hopefully they'll find somewhere else to go. Everything's drying out, and so far I don't see any more nasty leaks. We also spent another couple hours monkeying around with that stupid cell booster. Still no luck with that, so we're gonna try a different one. It's gonna have to be next weekend. And of course, keeping with the tradition of the weekend, everything still needs to be going wrong. So now it's raining, it's getting later at night, and we have a problem with the hot water tank. We've had this problem before. I've spent a lot of time like pretty much rebuilding this hot water tank. We still have a problem. And now we don't have hot water, so washing the dishes and things like that, not so easy. Washing your hands with cold water sucks. But what's even worse is spending all day getting nasty, nasty dirty and then not being able to bathe. Fun. Good morning, everybody. It is morning of day 3. It rained like a son of a gun last night, which, you know, it is what it is. But it also helps us try to find out how much water is still getting into the cabin and where. Our little patch up there where that old stovepipe was seems to not be leaking. And where it was once really, really wet and there was puddles of water, now seems to be starting to dry out. But one of the things we are noticing is water still coming in from this stovepipe. You can see daylight coming through there. It's not sealed at all. A lot of water was coming through there. So we need to get that out of here and cover that hole, at least for now. We don't want to put any finishes in when there's still a moisture problem. So you can see here, this is the existing stovepipe. Number one, the stovepipe does not extend above the roof line. And so if there were a fire in the non-existent wood stove, the smoke could draft easily into the loft window there, which is a huge no-no. Number two, you have the stovepipe cut into the side of the cabin. They made no efforts to seal around this huge gap here, which is, I'm going to say, pretty close to 1 inch. And then this trim piece here, they went through the trouble of installing. They didn't screw it to the side of the cabin. They didn't caulk around it. They made absolutely zero effort to weather seal around that. All right, well, it doesn't look amazing, but this patch right here, I'm pretty sure will definitely keep water and moisture out of the cabin. We are definitely going to want to be putting a new wood stove in there, and we will very most likely already use that giant hole in the side of the cabin. So we want to make sure that we can reopen it when the time comes. What have you been working on?
I am bleaching where the mice were making their nests.
Okay, so you gotta just bleach and water is kind of the fix all for everything.
Yeah.
It will kill the bacteria from their feces and their urine. It will also kill any mold. If you don't have those bases covered and you put insulation back in the walls and cover the walls back up and the mice move back in, you're screwed. You just wasted tons of time and money.
Yep.
Should have shown it earlier, but when we pulled the old door out, there was a ton of this really fine sawdust looking stuff, which is something you really don't want to see, because that is a very good indicator of either carpenter ants and or termites. Damage, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out for, especially while we have the walls open. Just one more thing to keep an eye on, because they can do a lot of damage in a hurry.
It's too tall for me. Alright, we're getting ready to leave, but we've made a lot of progress. Here, got everything tore down. Got the new door, yay! In the loft. Same thing, everything's just cleared out. Can't tell very well. I have a light up in here, but just all the walls all opened up and let everything dry out.